And so in some places, what they have done is they put the pie in the window secure, right? It's locked inside the school. The school is closed, but the pie is on. And people from the community can come and access the information from outside. And this we got much better at during COVID, during lockdown. So you could imagine, you could tell your community, would you like a free copy of the Bible in Yoruba? Come, stand outside. The champion need not worry about theft because everything's locked inside, but the signal goes through the window. And then you could be, or your deputies, your helpers, will have to be outside helping people get connected, which is often a challenge, but a challenge that can be overcome. So, for example, let's talk about the book, well, not about the book, really, Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. Now, my understanding is that this is a required book at, is it SS2? SS3. And of course, very few English teachers have enough copies of this book, especially if you have 100 or 200 students for that one teacher. So, that book happens to be already on the pie. It's in the Great Books module, and I will show you how to get there. And so I could imagine inviting students. They don't have to break the rules. They're not coming in the school with their phones. But you could say, okay, on Friday or on whenever you want, a holiday, or on Saturday if you're willing, bring your phones, bring your gadgets, bring your laptops, and we'll be outside, and everyone who wants a copy of this book, and many others, can have it. You'll have challenges. Some phones don't have room. There's different things. But there are many gadgets in your community. Now, in Zimbabwe, which was really struggling economically, they have one day. They'll take one school day, because the children don't have phones, but their parents do, where their family will give the children the family phone, and then they'll come and add resources. Now, wonderful idea if you're teaching little kids to have parents come and download, there's many, as you saw, there's many reader books. Okay. Let me give a technical fact. Some resources on the pie are downloadable. We saw that. What PDF, what was that we were looking at? Some story in the morning, and some of you downloaded it to your phone before you even knew what was happening. So PDFs, easy. Videos, doesn't work. So you might think, I want to download a Khan Academy video about fractions to my phone. Can't do it. So you'll find some resources go. Usually the PDFs go. The videos, they don't. Now, you could say, if I came to you and I said, oh, my child is he loves math, but he missed a month of school, what can we do? You can say, well, sit him right there with your phone. I'll leave the pie plugged in this weekend, and he can do math all day and all night, 24/7, no cost, except 5 watts of power. So I would invite you to start to think of this tool as something that you can use many ways. I think I mentioned that churches in Zimbabwe were using it during COVID to share the learn-at-home packets. The government of Uganda has a very rich website. Their education ministry has a lot of resources on there. I downloaded, I mentioned many of them, including packets that were designed, that were written during lockdown with funds from UNICEF so that people could learn at home. They're for every grade level. So somebody says, oh, my 10-year-old, she loves school so much, but she has to go take care of the family far away. Okay, here, take this packet. You can download it for free. If you have a printer, you can print it. And then they can go and keep the learning going, right? We all know so many people, they fall behind and then they can never catch up. I mentioned before in the morning this model where the teachers don't even use the Pi themselves. They have perhaps an after-school center or a before-school center or a weekend center where Pi is and the tablets. So you might decide, you might get home and say, you know what? This does not work in my classroom. It's just, I got 12 tablets and 100 kids and it's just not good. There's many models, and I would be happy to work with you in the coming weeks and months to share these different ways that this tool has been used in different places. And I look forward to learning new ways that you use it, that later you and I can share when we're training people to use this powerful tool. So what I'm going to do in a moment is show you just on the Pi where that a particular book is, since I know it's required. And then I will, in the future, find out which other books are on your syllabus that we can download from the internet and then put on the Pi. And during this training, I won't have time to show you how to quickly add your own resources, but I'll make a little video and Dr. A will share it on WhatsApp. So now I need to tell you a little something about, well, it's like, I guess you could say it's colonial thinking or something. Too often there are resources out there that have, well, they have racism behind them. Unfortunately, the person might not even know. So for this example is this module you'll see when we got it, it's called Great Books of the World. I renamed it Great American and European Books, because in Great Books of the World, are there any books from Africa? No. Any books from China? No. Any books from Chile? No. Any books from Mexico? No. Were all of them written by probably whites, but people in the US and in Europe? Yes. Did the person who named it realize how racist he was being by calling it Great Books of the World instead of Great Books from this one slice of the world? No. Okay. Another problem has to do with, I'll show you on your Pis, I found this book of Yoruba legends from 100 years ago. They went, it's an old book, they went up country and they recorded a lot of different legends. And I looked through it and I was like, wow, this is great. Great stories for the children. And then after I flashed all the chips, I looked at the introduction. And the introduction was written by a man who, he had racism in his head. And he sort of said, oh, look at the, you know, look at the, whatever, I don't even want to say, the uncivilized myths of these inferior, oh, it was terrible. So I went through and I deleted it on almost all of them. So I ran out of time. So I'll show you if you still have it. But we have to be aware, and actually, can you just move this a little bit? It doesn't really matter. I put curated content up here, right? And so that's another thing to look out for, is that, you know, too often that's in there. And then you have to decide, am I going to just keep it off, or am I going to use it as a teaching lesson? And that brings me to the topic of the module Fantastic Phonics, which we're going to take a look at next. And Fantastic Phonics is so white that I deleted it from the digital library because it was like embarrassing to me, because they teach you to read, and it's like, the cat lives with the rat, and it's all these people living in like this world of far away, and there's all these assumptions, and it's just so, I just couldn't take it myself. I felt like I was bringing, instead of respecting where I was going, I was like dumping on them. And so I deleted it. And my colleagues in Zimbabwe, when they got their new pies, they said, "Where's Fantastic Phonics?" And I said, "Oh, it was embarrassing." I just didn't feel good about it. And they said, "No, it's the best one. This is the one where our children are learning to read, especially the ones who are behind or who missed school." So I reluctantly included it also as an illustration that, you know, if I sort of explain that there's some thinking behind it, then maybe that's, you know, okay. So forgive us when you see it, because it's not Nigerian. But we're doing the best we can, and it's a resource that was free and good to share. So what we're going to do as people, wow, I guess you guys were hungry enough to eat fast, is we're going to do the Khan Academy thing in a minute. But let me pause now for a Q&A. So just think for a second, anything that you've seen on the board or that I've said that you would like clarified. Now is the time. There'll be other times. And I'm just going to wait 10 seconds. So don't, oh, here we go. Oh, that was you need food. I thought you had a question. Okay, so let's wait 10 seconds, see if anybody has anything. The questions before were great. Thank you so much. Oh, here we go.
My question is that, is it possible to upload your own content into the bridge?
So the question was, how do you upload your own content? And the answer is yes, and I think that the best time to show that will be the first thing tomorrow. So yes, it's a file server, it's open, and so you adding your own content is one of the most powerful things. And in one place, what they've done is they've took the notes from the best teacher at a secondary school, a big school where they had many people teaching the same subject, right? You could take the notes if everyone's teaching Midsummer Night's Dream or To Kill a Mockingbird, and maybe one teacher just has a great talk. You can take a photo of that and put it on the pie, and once you know how to do it, that takes like a minute. And so that's a very powerful use of it, is for us teachers to be able to share our creations and our notes and our examination questions and such things. Especially if you have new teachers coming and old teachers leaving, to keep that, what we call institutional wisdom, alive is a wonderful thing that the pie can do. And then another thing is sometimes you just need a lot of copies of something and you don't have a photocopier, or you do and it doesn't have ink or paper. So you can just say to your church group or to your teacher group, okay, everybody have a seat, connect to the pie, and let's all take a look at the agenda, let's all take a look at this resource, and then when you're done, you can delete it. It's almost like a copier, right? And so that can be very helpful, like on the short term. So you can save resources just as a list, And then also you can make your own pages on the sort of the website interface, just like I did for Nigerian books, or Yoruba and Nigerian books. And also you can customize it, right? I'm sure you noticed the Beano and Fino cartoons. Some of you might want to hide them. Just get them off. And some of you might want to make, if you're an English teacher, you might want to just hide all the math, no distractions. So you have that power, and I will share probably on WhatsApp how to do that. And it's also learning how to do that is a very good skill. Let's see, what was I going to tell you about? Well, okay, let's, we're going to try now the next step with Khan Academy, okay? About half of you are sort of ahead because I was able to meet with you and get you ready. Thanks. So this is going to be a little uneven because some of you didn't hear it and some of you did. So if you did, it might be a little boring. Okay. So what we're going to do, just to show you, is we're going to go into Khan Academy in a minute and create logins, right? And it can, I don't even know what the limit is, but I think each child can have one. And when someone has a login, it serves a few purposes. One of them is, as I mentioned to this group over here, is that as someone is watching a video or doing a worksheet, as someone is doing a video or a worksheet, they get these points. So every second that they're watching a video, they get a point. Okay. So, you can see I'm so distracted because it's the afternoon. I just can't keep focusing with these interruptions. So if you have to talk on the phone or you have to get some water or something, please, it's just too hot for me and I can't do it. So please step outside. Thank you so much. I should be able to, but I just can't. So what we're going to do is navigate our way over to the sign-up page. It's a little tricky, as we know, but some of people caught on. I mean, it's tricky for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you know, and some people have done it. And I recommend when you choose your username, choose something really easy, because you're going to have to type it. It can just be your initials or something, okay? So let's go ahead on our tablets, and please log on to Khan Academy. You'll see it says math lessons, or, oh yeah, so some of you had your tablets being charged, so Oyo will please distribute them. And then what we're going to do is, if you can already connect. Now we can't do this on the phone, everyone. We'll have a traffic jam. So let's just do one device per table. Okay. And I actually found out we were having trouble from outside. That was one reason the Wi-Fi was messing up. There's another Wi-Fi booster or something on the same frequency, so that was too bad. Is it off? Oh, well, that's no good. Okay, did this die? Sorry. Yeah, I was just checking the power, but, oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, this has power. Is this not on? Oh, I see. Okay, sorry about that. Maybe I turned it off. Okay, so these take about 60 seconds to boot up. So the very second you turn it on, it won't work. So you have to just give it literally 1 minute at the most. So let me know when it's on. Should be blinking. Yep, it's ready. It's ready. Should be ready. Which one is it? Go 2. Okay. Are you? Did it work? Yeah, good. Okay. So when you can, please go to the WordPress site and go to, I think it says like math lessons in Khan Academy or science lessons in Khan Academy. Either one, they really take you to the same spot. Can you experts go around the room and help people now, please? Because you did it, right? Okay. And did you already do it too? We already got you, right? You're all signed up. Okay. So can I ask you to stand up and come back to the, help my tables in the back of the room, please? Yeah. Okay. So these guys, are you on Khan Academy? Great. Okay, so these guys will help you. You go back, and then you see the hamburger there? Okay, so now you see where it says sign up? Okay, so go ahead and make an account. She'll help you. A few other people who know how to do it. Please get up and help them. Okay, here's Khan Academy. Okay. Sorry. So we'll go back and hit the hamburger, and then we'll do sign up. Okay. There we go. Okay. Good. Sign up. Let me see. Oh, you got. It took you far away. So sorry. Okay. Let's see. This one should be okay. Okay. So. There. You see where it says sign up? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so it's a little tricky, isn't it? So you have to go back this way, and then to the hamburger, and then we'll do sign up. Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. Okay, let me step in here and help you out, please. Good. Okay, so it's a little hard to find, right? You have to go back, and then to this hamburger, and then to sign up. But now you're there. Right? Did you guys get there? Okay, good. So make a username. Okay, here. I think that there's most visited is like a short. Okay. Right. So you want to do it? Okay. Now go to Khan Academy. Oh no, not that one. Okay. Okay, everyone, I'm going to pretend that I'm teaching a lesson, and I know that some of you are not 100% connected or on the page and signed in. Okay, you're almost there. So actually, I see people are close. If you can see up on the board, after you sign up, that's step 1. Step 2 is then you go back and you click log in. You see it? and you have to enter your username and your password. I recommend an easy password, 123456. No one's going to go in and do division for you, I don't think. And then after you've logged in, you're going to click on Learn. So let's try to get there, and I'll come around quickly. See how you're doing. Are you doing that too? Or are you doing something different? Okay. I don't trust that. Oh, that's yours? Okay. Okay. Did you share? Thank you for helping the others. Yeah, you have to put in your password now. That's good. Okay, so, oh, very good. Okay. Are you getting points? Where? I can't see them. Doesn't it say? Right, but let me see. Sorry. Right, I know. I'm just surprised not to see the points. It should say your name up there. Oh, okay, so, okay. It's just kind of jumping around. Sorry. Learn. Okay, see Learn up there? Okay, so I'm just picking one just to see. Well, I'm not going to let that stop me. Let's go back. It's tricky. Sorry. I know, I'm just being weird. Let's go back. Oh, there's the progress report. Oh, good. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'll help you in a minute, but let me get started, and I'll just try. Okay. Well, getting connected for the first time is a challenge, and so I'll come around and help you. But first, what I'm going to do is I'll demonstrate as if I'm teaching a lesson, just to demonstrate. Okay, here we go. Hello, students. Today we're going to be learning some things from Khan Academy before our lessons begin. We're going to be studying science. We're going to be studying light. We're going to be studying stars. It's going to be an amazing unit. And I want you all to have a nice background knowledge. I'm going to assign a few things on Khan Academy for you to look at. I want to let you know that you are signed in, so I can see whether or not you've really done it, and I will be checking. I haven't used my scary teacher voice in a while. Well, I did at the airport, actually, to keep people away. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at 3 different sets. And they're a little hard to find. At the very first page of Khan Academy, there's a long list of modules. Math, English, and it goes down, 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 down. And maybe the 8th or 9th one is called Partner Content. Today we're going to be looking not at math, not at English, but at partner content. These are partners of Khan Academy who've added their own content to this module. There's the Museum of Modern Art, the American Space Agency NASA, the animated film company Pixar. It's a big mix. And there's one that's a lot of fun if you care at all about basketball. It's LeBron James asking science questions. and it's called LeBron Asks. And he says, like, why do I get cool when I'm sweating? And then Saul gives the answer. So it can be a lot of fun, especially, of course, for people who love the NBA. But what I'm going to ask you to do is you'll go under partner content, and I'll come around and help you. And one of them is called Exploratorium, which is a hands-on museum in San Francisco. And they have a lesson called Light and Color. That will be the first one for you to look at. Under partner content, children, no, teachers, there's a big history project, and you'll find stars and elements and how were stars formed. And in the NASA set, you'll find one called Exploring the Universe. So what we're going to try to do is to watch those 3 videos now. So if you're connected and it's working, please begin. And if not, I will try to come around as quickly as possible to assist you. Ready? Yeah, let me show you. Okay. Okay, so you have to, this is all maths, right? So you go, shoot, that was my mistake, sorry. Sorry. Okay, so you go back to the math one, right? Now there it is, that little arrow. We have to go back one level. Right, so when you're on that first page, you have to hit that arrow on the left to go back. And then do you see partner content? Yeah, you found it. Yay! Did you find it?
Light and color, yes.
You found it? 2. Did you find it?
No, sir.
Okay, so here, let me, oh boy, you got it. Did you find it?
Found it.
Oh, you did. 3! Okay. So, oh, no, you got it. Okay. Partner content. Right. Okay, good. Now you'll find it. Oh, sorry. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Oh, you're there. Let me just see this for a minute. Which one are you in? What did I Right. Great. Okay, excuse me. Sorry. Did you guys get you got it? Fantastic. Did you get it? Oh, you got lost in the interface. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you found it. Oh, then you're set. 7. Did you find partner content? 8. Unbelievable. Were you able to find partner content? Yes, you did. Right, that's right. Yes, sir. Yeah, just touch it. Yes, there you go. And then the third one is called Stars and Elements. You see it there? Go ahead, click it. No, sorry, 3 here. Great, now watch that first video. Okay. All set? You got it? Yes, sorry. Yeah. Now just watch any one of those. Sorry, I didn't specify, yeah. You were fine. Did you find it? Yeah, okay, big history. And then I said to do number 3, stars and elements. And how were stars formed? And then just watch that video. Then you hit the play. There you go. It worked. Okay, I think we have all 10 groups who found partner content. Great. Now, and you know to watch it, you have to hit the play. Great. And you see the points, right? You're getting points. Yours is working as well? Ah, fantastic. working. There's a lot on there. Let me look on yours for a minute and just see how to do the next thing. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, everyone, you did great. You could tell how excited I was as I went around the group, Patrick, Dr. A, and I could see, I thought everyone would need to be helped, and I was like, 1, 2, 3, let's have a round of applause for everybody. You did it. It's really hard. But then once you learn how to do it, you see like, oh, back arrow. Okay, so up at the top on the right, you see the hamburger. There's a green square with the white horizontal lines. Touch that, please. And then it should say on there, my progress. Progress. Do you see it? Okay, so touch my progress. And then it should tell you what you did, right? Progress report. Okay, you know, Khan Academy, there is so much content there. If you ever have a child who's curious and he or she is ready to read or watch videos or learn more about the world, just going through, even just the partner content, it's unbelievable. And there's many modules. We only looked at, I think, 3 out of 10. I don't even know. I'm tempted to let you keep doing it. You look very curious, but I'm going to march on. And I will make some videos at home on my screen going through all these steps, narrating it, and we'll share them on YouTube and WhatsApp so that you can look at it. I'm sure. Oh, I see some of you copying this down, which you're welcome to. I just picked 3 as an example. This is, I just was like, let's do a lesson, and let me see. I just took 30 seconds to go into partner content and pick a few cool videos. But you can see how if you had your students watch, you know, 10 or 20 videos about the stars or something like that, it's much easier to teach it with a piece of chalk. Also, it's like a little easier on the teacher when everyone's watching a video for a minute. Okay, let's take a look at great books of the world, also known as European and American literature. So we're going to have to get out of Khan Academy, which can be a little tricky. You might have to go home. You might have to sort of start over on your tablet. Is that what's happening? To get out of there, can I do it? Sorry. If you hit the, yeah. Sometimes I just use the triangle to go back, 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 back. Sometimes you can just go up to the top and start again and just type in 10.10.10/HTML/WordPress. Sometimes it's hard to get out of Khan Academy. You have to sort of restart. So what we're going to do now is take a look at that great books of the world module. So did you manage to get home? Okay, good. This is annoying how it does that when you could have. Oh, this thing really. Sorry. Okay. When you make your way back to the home screen, you'll see that Classic European and American Books is the 8th one. Just go down on the home screen to Classic, what did I call it? Classic American. Classic, the first word is Classic American Books. You see it? Oh, right, right. Just click on that, and then it should say Great Books of the World. Did that come up? Yeah, okay. So let me just go to the back. Can you see, are people on Great Books of the World? Okay, you can also get it from there. It's actually on that one too, I think. Isn't it? Oh, there it is, Great Books of the World. Did you see it? Oh, that one? Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're stuck. Yeah. Or, yeah, you can just do it that way too. She's right. Just go there. Okay, let's take a look at Great Books of the World. Okay, you're stuck here. That's no good. We can go back, sorry. Go back to the beginning. Not all the way back. Oh, there we go. Oh, shoot, too far. Well, actually, you can get it here. I'll show you. Okay, menu, right here. Classic European. Okay. When you get to, oh, good, you're there. You're stuck. Let me unstick you. May I unstick you? You can just use the back button over and over and over again, and usually we'll, or let's just give up and go, oh, that wasn't what I meant. Sorry. Oh, we'll just go back to Silk. Ah, how annoying. So sometimes then I just, oh, here we go. Yeah. Nice. And then you go to the hamburger, and you choose the classic. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so Classic Books of the World. Great. Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is arranged by genre. Okay. I am going to just, it's okay if you're chatting next to, everyone's chatting for good purpose. So I'll go over here where people are quieter. The books are arranged by genre, as you can see. And actually, if you're an English teacher, even just the idea of genre, how we organize books, can be taught from this page. So it happens that one of the required books, what was it in, drama? Right, which book, which section was it in? I think it was in drama. Okay, so you can see that the genres are arranged alphabetically. Can you please click on drama, D-R-A-M-A? Yeah, right. So if you scroll down, I think the 5th or 6th one is A Midsummer Night's Dream. Now, my colleague noticed that it wasn't in the same format as the one that the government gives. The one that she's used to using has acts and pages, and it'll look differently. Oh, usually the first few pages, there's a bunch of stuff that's not about, it's about the license, and you have to scroll. That's not Shakespeare. But anyway, it's nice to know that at least one required book is on the pie, and I'm sure there are others preloaded, and then we can add more together in the future. But it would be wonderful to hear about a SS2, SS3 teacher who managed to get a copy of this required book onto, you know, everyone's phone. You could actually say, okay, here's your assignment, go home and read Act 2, Scene 3 to your parents and act it out, or something like that. You know, fun, nothing terrible. Great Books of the World is a blast, actually. It's kind of mind-boggling how many books there are on this little SD card. There's hundreds of them. So her question was, if you have a book in mind, can you quickly search for it? So the answer is yes, but what you're going to find will probably be disappointing. Because if there's 300 books on there, how many books in the world are there? 100,000, right? So it will probably be disappointing, but, sorry to grab it from you, there is a search function. So if you go to the top, oh man, I made it, what is happening? If you scroll up to the top, right next to where it says Great Books of the World, there's a search window. So to see if it works, type in the word mid, M-I-D. See if it works. Like if you were looking for Midsummer's Night's Dream, you don't have to type in the whole title, right? You can see, just try. If you type in M-I-D, what does it show you? Middlemarch by George Eliot, A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, The Middle-Class Gentleman, The Innocent Abroad. So actually, there's a lot of books. Well, there's about 6 that have M-I-D in them, right? So, yeah, you could search, and before they said they did To Kill a Mockingbird. So I searched, it's not on there. So there is a search function, but you rarely find anything because it would be it's a very nice match that a book that's required here in Nigeria is already on the pie. So the other ones we'll have to try to find and add. Right. Okay, so great question, which is, what if I want to add To Kill a Mockingbird? Or some other, sorry? Some other title that isn't on there. Okay. It's a complicated answer that might not fit into this workshop, so I will just make a video at home and show you, but here is the answer. There is a website which I can direct you to, which these books are taken from, which happens to be called Project Gutenberg. Gutenberg was famous, maybe you heard, he invented movable type hundreds of years ago in Europe. Before that, all books had to be written by hand, and he invented this idea where you would put, like, for the Bible, which was the first one he did, he wrote, yeah, that's great. And we'll hand that out too. And he had the idea, let's put an I and an N and a space and a T and an H and an E, and he printed the Bible, right? He's just writing the website, Project Gutenberg, which I'll send you the link to. It's easy enough. Yeah, G-U-T-T. It's actually on there, isn't it? Doesn't it say from Project Gutenberg at the very top? Yeah. Right. Right. G. Right. And so if you go at the very beginning where it says Great Books of the World, it says index, welcome to the Great Books of the World, a searchable categorized selection, blah, 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 from Project Gutenberg. And Gutenberg has millions of, actually more than 1 million books on it, which are open source, which you can download. Okay? I said open source. Yes. So that means that you're allowed to copy it at no charge. So especially in the US and the UK, we have a regime, a copyright regime. So if I write a book, you have to buy it, right? You can't just copy it. You're not supposed to. So most new books are not free. But copyrights don't last forever. So, and it varies by country. So a book like A Midsummer Night's Dream is now open source. So you can put it on the internet and have people download it, and it's not piracy. So if you're looking for an older title, a lot of times they will be for free, open source on the internet. Now, when they're not, that's when you have a little bit of a moral conflict, okay? Because if they have assigned a book and the government has not provided you with enough copies of it, you might feel pushed to supply that to the children because we're educators. It's a very positive feeling. But also the author of the book deserves pay for his or her work as the author. That's also a very good idea. So some people just say, okay, forget the author, I'm just copying it, and it's for the kids, and education's more important. And other people say, no, okay, if it's copyrighted, I'm not copying it. And Dr. A mentioned this example that I have used, where I've drawn the line is, I don't take snaps or copy an entire book. Even if I had a free photocopier, I wouldn't copy the whole book for my students. What I do is I take a selection, right? So what you could do if you're teaching To Kill a Mockingbird, in my opinion, this is where I draw the line, is you could take photos of a few pages that you really want the children to have and be able to look at. And so for the rest of it, you read it aloud or however you share the limited number of copies you have, and then you use it for teaching for a few selections. It's sort of like a compromise, right? And some of you might be thinking, just copy it. Who cares? No one's looking. And some of you might be thinking, oh my God, that is against the law. What is wrong with this guy? And there's the two sides. And so that's where I balance the interests of teaching and learning with respecting the author of To Kill a Mockingbird. And I don't know what to tell you, beyond that. So there's textbook shortages in many places, and many people would love to just have them for free. And you can take photos of them. I mean, you don't even need the pie, right? You could take photos of a book that you don't want to buy. You could walk into a store, bookstore, go right to the bookstore, take photos, have it on your phone. You've stolen the book, but nobody knows. I don't know. But it's an interesting thing to think about, and so I'll leave it at that. But you can definitely take selections. Also, you can let me know, especially if it's a book that's fairly old that the copyright might have expired on, and I can help look for it. There are millions of books online. Another thing you can do, by the way, is you can, with the textbook shortage, is you can use books that aren't Nigerian. Okay? So for example, in Uganda, I've mentioned, they put all their textbooks online. They're all open source. So if you're teaching biology, you know what? The biology textbook from Uganda is not that different from the biology textbook from any other country, right? If you're going to learn about cells or something like that, you can make it with other countries' books. There's an NGO in South Africa that tried to address this problem, and they had experts write excellent textbooks for each subject, and they're free and open source. You can use them as much as you want, and I put some of them on the pie. But you know what? Teachers don't like to use books that aren't the book that the government gave you, and it really is kind of a pain to teach biology from a book from another country, let's be honest. So it doesn't really fill it, but if you have to, you just really feel like you need a textbook, there are open source books out there, but they're not Nigerian. So it's a little tricky. That was a great question. It's a long answer, but it was a great question. Okay, let's just wait 4 seconds for another question, just in case there's a burning one, and then we'll do fantastic phonics. Okay. Yes, sir. Right.
Looking here, I can't find anything from Nigeria.
Right, well, I know.
Because there's no facility for search.
Yeah, no. Okay, so the search bar, it's a little weird on this. You have to go kind of, the search bar at first doesn't show up. And this actually happens with a lot of things online, where at first there isn't a search bar. It happens, and then you have to like go down and up to get the search bar. The gentleman pointed out, hey, it says great books of the world. How come there's nothing from Nigeria? And that's my point, is that whoever wrote it was just so Western, he didn't even think like, oh, there's other, sorry, I mean, I know, right. Why isn't Things Fall Apart on there? That was my first thought. I mean, that was an amazing book. And actually, that had a big impact on me. And, you know, it helped me to know that there was a whole world outside of the US and the UK. Just like, oh, wow, this is great. I mean, I was really young, so, but anyway, that book had a great impact. So on behalf of Western chauvinism and American #1 thinking and all of that, I want to apologize, not just to you and not just to Africa, but every single, yeah, no, it's frustrating. And so at least I was able to take the small step on the web-based interface of naming it, you know, Great American and European Books. And, you know, you can even use this as an illustration, because I know you teach a lot about racism. I mean, you're reading these books, which make my country look like the worst. To Kill a Mockingbird, and what was the other one? I think Native Son. Sorry. I mean, that book scared me bad when I was a kid, and I'm white. What I was saying was, you can also help, as you're teaching about racism or tribalism or whatever, is to understand a lot of people, well, a lot of people are just like, I'm racist and I'm glad. But also a lot of people think they're not, and they still are. It's still in the hegemony, the propaganda. So they'll say, here's a list of great books of the world. And someone says, any from Africa? They go, no. Okay. And they think they're not, it's like in their head. So we can take a step ahead and you see, and kind of say, you see, this is someone who doesn't even have it in their heart to be insulting Nigerians. I mean, that's how bad it is, you know, that the problem goes that deep that people even are doing it unintentionally. So let's put some more African books on there. And I was glad to at least find a couple of Nigerian books when I went, but I didn't really spend very long looking. It was pretty easy. Yes, sir.
It's just coming to mind that if we have, you know, an interface, just like you told us the other time, that this thing can be customized, based on individual requirements. That we can have, you know, such a facility that one can.
So he said, oh, you know, how about if we add books? Okay, so this is now getting more technical. Another yes and no answer, and some of you I know already know the answer, right? What's on the digital library? Well, first of all, there are those Rachel content modules, the one that are listed under 10.10.10, which Younger people, by the way, they expect everything to be on a web-based interface. And for some of us older people, having just a list in alphabetical order is the easier way to find it. So some people like the 10.10.10 list, and some people like the 10.10.10/HTML/WordPress web-based interface. So on these content modules, we're stuck with them. As is, cannot change them. So I cannot go into that and change the word Great Books of the World to, or the title, to Great Books of the West or the US or right. But what I could do was to make a page called Books from Nigeria and go online and search Yoruba Bible. Oh, here's one. The first one I had only had Genesis, by the way. Luckily, I wanted to see what happened next. It turns out Genesis is the best. Just stick there. So I added that. And then I added another book, like I said, and I thought, oh, here's a great book. And then I saw this racist introduction. I said, delete it. So Rachel content modules. Then there's lots to download from Education Ministries. So much. Really great stuff. And I have to say, South Africa has really, really great, especially for little kids. They have so many books they've made available for free. Yeah, I should say, also, instead of saying little kids, I should say early readers, right? Because we don't want to insult someone who's older, who's learning to read English, and say, oh, here's a book for a 5-year-old. Here's a book for a new English reader, right? And then user editions, which is just how to do it is just a little too much for this 2-day workshop. But like I said, I'll show you on a video, and then you'll see. It's sort of like having a car and then learning how to fix a car. Great questions, though, sir. Thank you so much. So since we had such a great question, might as well wait 5 seconds to see if another great one pops up. Yes. Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you, sister. Oh, it's a great mic, but it's not on. Here you go.
Well done, sir. I went through some of the subjects in Kian Academy. I discovered that the way some of these subjects were explained, it seems they were structured based on the curriculum of the of the Western world. And this is Nigeria. And most of the textbooks we use, like in physics, chemistry, they are written by Nigerians. Now, in this case, you want to give a student an assignment to go and read. You know, most of them, they are familiar with the Nigerian books, of which you will be expecting them to reply based on the Nigerian books. And now, if they are to go into this, definitely there is tendency for most of them to go outside the track, to give you what seems not really exact based on Nigerian curriculum now. Sir, what do you have to say about that? Number one. Then number two, is there any way the Ministry of Education can incorporate the schemes, if not all, that we go in line with each continent since these things go viral, so that it will bridge the gap we are actually talking about? Because if we don't go that way and we limit this, it means we are going Western, and then most of our people here, before they will, the students, before they will catch up, it might take them a long way. So is there anything that can be done in that regard?
Such a great question. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's a challenge. And like I was saying, I think 5 or 10 minutes ago, you can have a free textbook from every other country in the world, and you just want the one that your boss said you have to teach out of. or the one that's Nigerian. And that is just very, very true. On the big level, what we can aspire to is to, through the authorities, to be in touch with the ministry and to see if we can have some of these books become open source or get permission to put them on the PI, especially in places where the textbook shortage is actually, well, it's actually the government's fault. Do you want to mention something, Dr. A? Okay, I'll say one thing before Patrick comes up, which is I agree with you 100%. And also I can say as a teacher that if I had a shortage of American books, but I had Nigerian books, with some subjects I could use them, right? So for example, if I'm about to teach the solar system, I could say, okay, next week on Monday we're starting the solar system. This week I want you to get background. We're going to read a Nigerian textbook. We're going to learn about Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. And then next week I'm going to start teaching from the Nigerian textbook. Oh, I'm so sorry, there's 100 of you, I only have 5 books. But I can give everybody their own copy on the phone or something like that of these open source books. And then another thing is, so it's sort of before and after, right? And another thing is I can say, my goodness, you are so interested in the solar system. I loved teaching you about space. Are you interested in outer space? Oh, yes, I am. Well, next week, we're going to start learning about cell respiration. No more learning about Jupiter. But let me give you this Ugandan textbook about space. And you can learn all about, I had to skip Venus. We didn't have time. You can read all about it. So I'm sorry, but first of all, politically, we have to try. And second of all, you can be creative and use the resources, especially on some subjects, right? Also, I should warn you, though, in terms of math, they write numbers different in some countries. And I got down to Zimbabwe. They use what we use for a decimal point, like 5.2. They use a comma. And when we say like 100,000, we write 100, comma 000. And for them, a comma is a decimal point. And they didn't know what I was talking about. So there are these cultural differences that can be challenging. Sorry, thank you.
Let me just, I think about Bob, you addressed some of the things that that issue that was being raised, excellent point. But I don't want that to stifle your creativity. And I also want to, let me put on my principal's hat on. I understand the system in Nigeria. God, I happen to understand the system in New York City, in the United States. The world is becoming more interdependent. And you know, Jagba, or what do you call it here? Jagba, right? You don't know how many of those kids. And I'll tell you this. Every Nigerian child that has come to my school, I opened 2 schools in New York City. I'm the founding principal. And those students, the moment they end up in that school, they outperform every child in that place. I kid you not. I've seen that among Nigerian kids. So what Bob was alluding to, true. But the idea of the comma, Nigeria is far beyond that. It's about the same system. There are some content areas that are just international. The language is international. Math is one of them. Science is what science is. The only area of interest that you need to be worried about is history. U.S. history, right? Our 6th grade, 7th grade, actually in the 6th grade, the curriculum is about Eastern Hemisphere. It's part of what you do here. We don't separate history and geography. In Nigeria, you do separate that, right? So we combine them. When you get to the 7th grade, we start to study the first part of American history. We end it up in the 8th grade, and we put it in the 9th grade. So that can be a concern for you, but I have news for you. Just think, do the best you can in terms of what you can get. The open source is there. Whatever is not available, because if you're going to think about, oh, how well can we convince and I don't want to be pessimistic, how well can we convince the power that be in Nigeria to open up the curriculum? And it's going to take you years. And you know that. So, so let's be creative. For English language arts, our kids are just wonderful. English is English. And in fact, what I've heard, I've always said to folks, opening up to our language, to Yoruba, to Hausa, to Igbo, and this less of English everywhere I go, everyone speaks English now. They know English. The independent read the books. Shakespeare is Shakespeare. The same one you read here is what you have over there. If it's not open source, the best you can in terms of what Bob has advised us to do, a few spot reading around some pages. If we can do that, we can upload. Let's do that. So let's try to be creative. And so that brings me to something that we might discuss tomorrow. Because as I, listen to what is going on here, we have champions and we have master champions already. We have master champions because there are some people that you got it. There are some tables, this gentleman, I could see, going around to help other folks. The nature of the questions that are being asked by folks here, you got it. So we're going to hopefully divide you, tomorrow we'll talk more about that. We're going to divide the 11 schools into 3 clusters of schools. And we'll make sure we have a master champion in each group. Are you getting me? Making sense? If I'm not, please let me know. So that your first point of contact will be among yourself. You talk about creativity. A school, a cluster may be doing such a great thing, and that cluster may be struggling. We're going to share information. We don't want to live as an island. This is something of a community. It's a relationship. We're not in competition with each other. Am I making sense to you? So we'll divide that group. And so if for some reason you just can't get it, something is just not going right, we have a platform. You put it there. You challenge us. We check it every day. This lady over here, she checks everything on platform every minute. So somebody will get it to us. We'll see it. If we can't find it, we are Bob. So we're here to let you know. We will do the best we can, but don't let what just came up stifle your thinking around how this thing is going to work. Did I do well? Thank you.
That was so good. Okay, apropos of that, we're going to take a look at this library that was developed by UNESCO for Africa especially. And so if you can please go back to the home page that has Welcome to Your Digital Library. And then if you can scroll down, 10 or so are the books. You get to math and science. There's one called, it's about the 12th one, it's called Math Series from UNESCO. Please touch Math Series from UNESCO, and when you get there, it looks like this. This man was so slow, and he had a very good excuse. I took his tablet. Okay, right, you're there. Okay, did you find it? That's it, yes. Okay. Okay, did you find it? Let's go. Let's see, that might... Yeah, but this will work. Yeah, okay. You can also get it from the page. There you go. At the bottom, yeah, it just got, yeah. At the very bottom of the page, friends, you can see it says, questions, sample test questions. Okay, you see where it says sample test questions? So let's take a look. How about... well, let's see. Oh, you're in the math one, but that's okay. I'm in the science one. So, hello. Okay, the one in the nice shirt. Oh, in the white shirt. Okay. So, here you go.
Well, sorry to bring us back.
Something just came to my mind while doctor was sharing what he shared the other time. In my school in Elisha, we have a compressed scheme of work for all the subjects, middle school and high school, for all the subjects in Osun State. So I have it on my phone. If we can share it on the platform, and you can help develop textbooks that are open source to support the scheme so that it will be useful in Osun State, because the schools here majorly are from Osun State. Not everyone anyway, not everyone. But the one I have is from Osun State. If the guys from Lagos can get it also from Lagos, we can put it together and take textbooks from open source to develop and upload on the Bridge Pi. Yes, I have it here.
In what form? As a PDF?
It's a PDF file. Yes, it's PDF.
So, at the end of the day, you're next. Sorry. At the end of the day, today, you and I will work to post it to the channel. And we can test.
And now let me just chip in this. The textbook that the compressed curriculum that you are having on your phone, it was during the era of Aregbesola that they produced.
Test.
The one for senior classes can work out. For example, a subject like chemistry.
The best solution is not for us to be subjective.
Hello, hello.
Understood so far is that this platform is trying to make our work easier, and then it's trying to bring our students to a level where they can compete with other people in other places. My understanding. So that I don't want us to bring the Nigerian next factor into it. I want to believe we have social studies in Nigeria. When you talk about climate, climate is climate. So, if I am a teacher, I have to teach social studies. I'll go on the pie, check something on climate, look for a way to adapt it to my lesson that will communicate to my students. I am their teacher. I understand them. I know what they want, and I know the part that I can give to them that will be beneficial. So all these, see this. Look, this program is excellent. It's beautiful. Don't let's alter anything. Don't let's start thinking about creating new content, doing this. Let's work with this content first. Probably we just take it to the field, test run it. If during the process we then discover one or two, then we can just adjust. But the thing is just, look, nothing is different. The only thing, like you said before, is just Nigerian history. And in our schools, to take Nigerian history, you take it about just 2-3 weeks. Later, you have to take other people's history too. So imagine I'm taking American history, I have it on the pie. It makes my work easier. So it is just the Nigerian part I don't have. Then I communicate it to them with the material that I have. And then I can now talk to you or talk to how do we get Nigerian history into the, so please don't let's get distracted. I wish everybody can just be on the same page with me. Already, I love this model. Let's work with it.
Lord Jesus. I think you're invited to be a teacher, right? What school are you from? Oh, beautiful. So we have champions. When I talk about the clusters, now you're making it so easy for us. I don't think there's any more to say. Your work is done, right? Thank you so much. We appreciate it. On that note, we're going to have you continue our work. Yeah? Thank you so much. That was excellent. Yeah.
Thank you all so much. And I just want to share another idea that I think it might address your concerns directly. That's just a teacher idea. You could, if you were teaching the history of Lagos, you could have some students 1 year write the history of Lagos, take snaps, upload them to the Pi. Your new come in and say, you know what, before I start teaching about the history of Lagos, let me show you Fatima's paper she wrote last year. Wow, so great. You can share all those resources. There are ways that you could incorporate things. I mean, that's just one idea. I thought of it for 5 seconds. But there are ways that you can get the content. And we're going to work to get more. I'm sorry that the books from Nigeria page didn't have 30 books on them. I got started and didn't keep going. But there's tomorrow. If you look at those test questions that were on the UNESCO page, if you just subjects, there's a math page and a science page. I think that you would agree if you were teaching that subject that having to do those test questions, no matter how different the country, right, that would be helpful. Did you finding them the same as, right? I mean, it looks familiar, right? I mean, it's the same. Like, what is the heart for? And I don't know. I would, my guess would be that it would be useful. I'm just going to wait a moment for people to look them over. Right, right, right. Um, how many people here teach primary? Is everyone here a secondary teacher? Yes? Oh, everyone here is secondary. Fantastic phonics is going to be much use. Wow, I didn't know that. I thought we had the range. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I wonder. Okay, so quick pivot. Let's talk about geography. Please go back to the home page. And we're going to take a look at this thing called Interactive World Map. And you can find it on the Rachel page or the internet-based page. Okay, so if you go down, I think it's the last one, or almost. Did you find it? Interactive. Oh, it's. Yeah. So it's called Interactive World Map. Did you find it? Okay. When you find it, please. Nigeria. Oh, it's still loading? It actually takes a while to load because there's a lot of. Is it stuck? Uh-oh. Ah, it's coming up. Okay. Good. It's that. When we wonder what's the capacity of the Pi, we just put it to the test there. To have 10 people try to fetch this, it's a lot of data. So you see the search window? I invite you to type in Nigeria, type in whatever you want, and just take a look. Just too much, huh? Is everyone getting a... Okay. Oh, no, she got it. Oh, okay. Just try the country, just Nigeria. Just... Okay, I think what happened was we just overwhelmed the Pi, because definitely Nigeria's in there. That's crazy. Sorry. Let's try, I don't know, France. I think it just... Yeah, I think it just was an example of when too many people do it at once. Sorry. That is weird. That's weird. Well, anyway, you don't need... I don't know why the search thing is not working. Bizarre. I mean, what's going on? That's really... Oh. Maybe it doesn't really have country... Oh, I see that. Yeah, it's by city. I didn't know that. So Lagos is there. Okay, well, that's good. Oh, yeah, look at how many... That's weird. Okay, so... Yeah, it's just by city. Isn't that weird? That's odd. Because a kid's going to write Nigeria. So take a look. It's a nice tool to have, especially if you teach social studies. Everyone always, with interactive map, everyone always wants to see their own place. But of course, if you're learning about a war or something, you want to start off, and it's actually pretty amazing to have the whole world's maps right there when you think about it. Okay, everyone, I'm glad to do an interactive world map, which I usually don't even get to, but again, it's just, I don't know, maybe because the idea of having the whole world's maps like that is really nice. And I encourage you to, when you introduce something, anything, see where it is on the map. Learning about our world is great. And it'll certainly help you learn Nigerian social studies and to really see where the neighbors are and where the Sahara is and everything, I would imagine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is introduce one more module, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll go until 6, and then we'll wonder where dinner is, and then 7. No, I'm just joking, sorry. Okay, so this module is called Fantastic Phonics, and I mentioned it a few times. And it's a really great module. Okay. Here, thank you so much. Of course, if we were all primary teachers, we'd really dig into Fantastic Phonics. And I actually thought it was... No matter what I thought, I was wrong. I thought there was a mix. I didn't know everyone was secondary. So this won't feel maybe spot on. But you might get some students who've come maybe from a village or maybe from a country, like a French-speaking country, right? And they come and they read English, or maybe a Portuguese country where Portuguese is the language of instruction, or French. And of course, you know, they could come from Côte d'Ivoire, far, and they don't know how to read English. So it is a good thing, I think, to know about, because it's really such a great, robust curriculum. And some of you might even want to use it with your own children, give them a head start on reading, or to show if you have colleagues who are teaching primary, or people who want to learn to read better, it is adult literacy. So what we're going to do is just get everyone to Fantastic Phonics so that when we come back from break, we don't have any technical snafus, technical glitches. So let's go. Oh, you already, these guys already found it. So, oh, many of you did. I tell you, you guys have come really far today. Let's give us a round of applause, because I mean, you're going faster than me, and I love it. And if you didn't get there, that's okay. But so let's take a look. If you're already on the page, let me just take a quick look. Okay, so as you when you see Fantastic Phonics, you can see right away at the top the picture that kind of bugged me. It's not a picture of racial diversity, is it? No. But that's okay. So we have Fantastic Phonics Scenic Series 1, 2, and 3. Let's just touch Series 1, please. And let me just show you this incredible list of resources, okay? So up at the top, well, let's just, I know, actually, why don't you, if you're on the page, why don't you go ahead and have a break? Okay, it's not, some of you went to the 10.10.10, the Rachel. This is not a Rachel model. So you won't, this gets a little confusing. You won't be able to find it on the 10.10. Is it? I don't think it is. Am I right? It's only on the WordPress one, right. And I have to tell you, I'm just going, he's here, but I have this colleague, Manning Sutton, such a good guy, so creative. He's the one who wrote the code. And he found Fantastic Phonics online. It's a very expensive program. And the company made it available in Africa for free because they thought, okay, nobody in the States is going to find it. We can keep selling it in the States. It's very pricey, hundreds of US dollars. And he was able to hack in and get the code. So he didn't actually break the rules because it's open source in Africa, but it's not available. So it's pretty cool, actually. The other modules are available. That UNESCO stuff you can get on your phone easily. One of the things that's really cool about Fantastic Phonics is you can see it has the different books, but there's rich teacher resources for every level, right? So, for example, CAT is spelled C-A-T. Cake, C-A-K-E. Short A, long A. Okay, there's a whole series of lessons for teachers to use and all kinds of games and words and everything like that. So have a look. Click on one of the stories, level 1, 2, or 3. Just familiarize yourself a little bit with it. And then please enjoy a break. And we'll reconvene, and then we'll go until 6. Patrick has something to say. Right. Thank you. 4:55, 15 minutes. And if any of you have those resources that we were mentioning before from the government on their phone, I would love to. She's got the moves. I would love to, first of all, dance with you, and second of all, see the resources. Okay, so let's have a break, and thank you, everybody. That was a great session. Really appreciate it. Great.